So, number one, let's start from this week's price action. On Sunday, we were able to spot the market from this price point. We were looking at the market from here.
Excuse, the
Obviously,
screen is not fully. I don't know how to explain this.
okay, better.
It's yes, better.
All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and start from the 4 hour time frame. So from the 4 hour time frame here, the market opened up around, I believe, here, right? We're talking about 43.90. Let me go ahead and reset the chart. And so, to my surprise, we did have like a 16-hour, 20-hour, 1,000 pip move. I wasn't expecting this because they haven't given it as clean these past couple of weeks, right? However, Monday price came back to retest. A lot of the best entries were happening at 8:30, but it's not as surprising because this does happen from time to time. We noticed that the market will come back to retest the midnight open. So many a times I had missed certain setups because the market kept on retracing so early, and then best entries was at 8:30. So congratulations to most of you guys who did catch the 8:30 entries. Now, reaching the highs for the first time here, we saw that in the afternoon price did retrace. So if Wawero is on the call right now, I really hope you did close out some positions as you said you would. Oh, he is here. He is here. Awesome, bro. Okay. Now, who here remembers me talking about Thursday night entries? Thursday night entries. Okay, I'll check in the chat in a little bit. Uh, Gold these days is very notorious for Thursday night opportunities around midnight, or and the next day, price will come back and retest those same lows to buy. All right. So Thursday was a pretty clean price action after we retraced in. And so not only did we have 8:30 potential entries where the stop loss is best placed under the previous session lows, by 10 a.m., we all know that the market likes to pick up volume around that time for gold. So this was also a beautiful setup. Now, Thursday night, we saw price creating a new floor, which is why when you're trading Fridays, it's always important to pay attention to what the London and the midnight open price action was, because they usually like to set the floor from there. So today, when NFP showed up, I was paying attention to this area of liquidity between London. And so they came down here and the volume started pumping at 8:30 by retesting the 12 a.m. open. Now this trade, because it was NFP, I didn't want to like get in too soon. But then when price started pushing up, I got in and I caught a little something here. And then so price started jerking around here, which didn't make me feel comfortable. So I had to make sure we manage properly. Uh, as we can tell, though, this is what I want y'all to remember. There's two news that happened this week that reminded me of like 2020, 2021 price action. Jolts and today. Price perfectly came back at 8:30 to retest London and the 12 a.m. open. But the break in retest by 9:30, 9:45 came to retest this 8:30 candle. And for those of you guys who haven't been with us for long, we understand that this is a high quality entry area when price by 9:30, 9:45 comes down to retest the pre-market 8:30. You guys are aware of that one, right? Give me some feedback. Are you guys aware of when the market by around 9:30, 9:45 comes down to retest 830 price action. You guys know about this. This is a very, very high quality setup that helps us to remember, oh shoot, price is pulling back in. Oof, that you might feel nervous in the middle, just feel nervous in the midst. But if you happen to spot that this is where the retracement is happening, just calmly put your stop loss below 830's low and give it about 30 to 45 minutes up and away it should go. These are the type of things when I start to see them more often, I'm like, okay, now I see my edge. Now I'm comfortable because like I know what these things mean. Now, for you who's listening, you might not have the conviction that I have because you haven't experienced it. And from my years of teaching you guys, passing down knowledge, one thing I realized is like I could teach this to you like clockwork. I could break it down. I could make metaphors, but until it makes sense for you, until you see it so many times and you're getting adjusted to it like a new car, I could tell you how great the car runs, how, it has good torque or whatever, good braking system, it goes fast. But until you drive it yourself, until you start to really get that feel for yourself, it might take a while for you to embrace and accept that this does happen. So even for me, sometimes if I haven't seen a setup work the best in a while, I might hesitate. I might not go as aggressive, but I'm like, hey, at least this is how it's still behaving in 2026. You feel me? So that was a good um occurrence that I wanted to see in the market, which gives me much more confidence in the price action that's going on right now. Now, let me ask you guys, did anybody catch these buys for gold? I know somebody asked me if I traded NAS. No, I did not trade NAS. I'm gonna repeat a couple things here because I'm speaking very quickly, but I'm also slowing down in certain key words and points that I want to stick. All right. While we said yep, but also 3 to 3 a.m., there's always something happening. Yes, London for sure. London for sure. You're not wrong, Brody. You're not wrong. No trade for me. Okay, no problem, Alice. Makes sense. You had a good week. All right, all right. I see a couple people said yes. We'll buy after the retracement. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now, if you haven't taken a trade today, that's okay. I honestly wanted to see this break of structure just to see how um, gold would maintain this because the last couple of times on Fridays when we try to take buy positions, they'll just make it to some odd area of interest into the supply area and lose volume fast. So I knew this could have been something that I didn't want to go into aggressively. So if that's something that you experienced as well, I don't know why I sounded like I'm from Baltimore. You experienced, I don't know where the you came from, but uh that's okay because now we have a break of structure. We're waiting on retracement. And shoot, I might even say this. I know it's what, 11:35. Next week, I feel like from Sunday, market's probably going to keep continuing this rally. Okay. I definitely see in the not too distant future that 45.50 and above will be broken. So if we have the actual money this time, we got the volume starting from Sunday, then we're going to be coming in differently this upcoming Sunday. We ain't going to come with like, whoa, pause. We're not going to be pulling up on the charts with too much uncertainty. We're going to see opportunities and look for continuation entry opportunities. Okay. Good. Yeah, yeah. So these are some of the things I spotted. So let me repeat. Number one, when you're trading on the 1 hour time frame or 30 minute and you're an intraday trader, you need to know your retracement areas very well. Um, there was a lot of weird wicks going on this week. I can admit. A lot of weird wicks. But whenever price would pull back, let's say on Thursday, into Monday's price action, we saw a lot of rejections. And truth be told, unless you start preparing yourself to know what risk you will go with once price does a certain thing, even if the opportunity presents itself, you will miss it because you'll still feel like, are you sure? But if you go about it in like the perspective of, you know what, once price gets here, I'm just gonna risk this amount, this percentage, and I'll feel comfortable to get in and give it time. Right. So a lot of retracements on the 1 hour. Till this day, I know there's a couple people who still are having issues with time frame correlations. Well, let me break this down to you in this perspective. Think about price action on the 1 hour and the 4 hour as boundaries. Think about it like sports, where if you're out of bounds, then you got to get back inbound, right? Typically on the 1 hour time frame, when you're looking at a 1 hour structure, a 4 hour structure, or whatever structure where you saw the price action reversed and you saw a strong foundation, they created either a base or a ceiling, which we call support or resistance. Doesn't matter how you call it, right? As long as you understand the structure of what happens next. Many times we'll notice that the retracements come back, they retest the zone, they might sweep it, they might wick it out, but after the two, three candles, you notice reversal is happening. So when you do see situations like that on the charts, you got to start preparing yourself to know how you're going to execute. Even if you missed the setup, learn to know what you'll do better next time so you can be better prepared. All right. So that's why on a 1 hour time frame, if I see price coming back into area of interest on the demand zone, I'll prepare myself to get in with breathing room below the 1 hour demand. Okay, with enough distance. Because I know on a 1 hour time frame, that means this might take a whole session to push back up. So I'm looking at least 4 hours. I should expect at least 4 hours if I'm getting in a trade on a 1 hour time frame coming back into an area of interest. If I'm looking at the market from a 1 hour time frame and I'm comfortable to see where it's pulling back in, now I can drop down into the M15 just to refine how the timeline of that session is creating price action to make me feel comfortable enough to get in. So I might be in a New York session. So me being in the New York session, I'm like, all right, it's 7 a.m. I know gold has tendencies of pulling back in by 8:30. I have until from 8:30 to 10, at least 10:30 in New York for me to decide if the price action looks good enough for me to take. And what does that mean by good enough? I'm talking about the structure makes sense. Meaning, do I have a breaking retest? Do I have price coming back to retest the London session lows? These are all the types of things that I'm looking for to make me feel comfortable about the confluence or the confirmations that will make me take that trade. All right. So now we get a break and retest at 10. Oh, I'm in there. If I'm in front of the charts, I'm in there. You have just met the conditions for me to take that trade. My stop loss below that low. Now, if it's like 169 pips, I'm like, damn, oof, price is going up these days, man. Like, it's not always about 40 pip stop loss sometimes. Okay. You gotta give it a little more room. But don't forget nowadays, gold is out here giving 200, 300, 500 pips. So you got to see both sides of the pips. All right. Now, you get into a trade like that on the M15 coming from a 1 hour time frame, trade might last an hour. Put yourself in a position where the risk is calm enough for you to be in a trade that might last an hour. Now, if price is kind of jumping around, hey, feel free to close out however you feel fit. But don't be mad too if you see that the trade played out for the next 45 minutes. That was just the beginning. You get me? Does that make sense, guys? I know there's a lot of pros on the call, but we're talking, we making sure it's conversational. How we're thinking on the charts. We got to make sure in 2026, the conversation that's happening in here when y'all alone can be a conversation if we always linking up and we talking about how we take the trade. you know? So this is how you would go about a trade like this. All right. Waweru, what's going on? You writing on the screen, fam?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Uh, as I was saying, hold on, let me make sure I this is always tough to remember. I'm always forgetting how you do that, but let me make sure. Oh, I can't remember how to stop annotation from anyone, but hold on. I think I remember. 1 second. Zoom be updated so many times out the month. Sometimes, man, it's tough to remember. All right, let's carry on. Let's carry on. I can't remember. Can't remember. Okay. So price came back here by 9:45, retested the 8:30 price action from this candle right here. Took the trade. Now we have a break of structure. How many pips did this go? This was a good 300 pips. So expect 300 pip moves these days from gold. If you're coming into scalp, intraday scalp, there's enough pips to catch, but you got to be able to like hold a good position. If you entered into like a nice position where you had a good stop loss, try holding a little bit past 45 minutes. All right. See about it. Move the stop loss into profit, close some partials. Let the rest run just to see if you're able to hold. I know a lot of us have issues holding, and sometimes rightfully so, because the markets can be a little iffy. But once the market comes back down to retest a pre-market low, you got a good hour of price action before it like reverses all the way or something. Okay. Just use precaution, use discretion. Make sure when you look into the left, price ain't already make it to like a zone where it has to reverse right away. Okay. So this was gold. I like how gold is moving. I can tell there's potential for continuation to 45.50. Just wanted to give a thorough breakdown. Are we good so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, let me talk, let me hear you guys out. Ask an AI. Who is this? Ask an AI. Could you explain yourself, Danny? Ask an AI. I don't understand. Moving forward, we're looking at, I know some of y'all been trading silver, so let's talk about it. I haven't gone into the silver frenzy, but not gonna lie, the structure looks good. All right. If you catch a break and retest, I don't see why getting into, trades, buy trades for silver wouldn't make sense, Like this is good, healthy price action. Silver is the new talk of the town. They've always been here. There's nothing new. It's just that they're pumping a lot of more volume into silver as well. Now, gold is my bread and butter because I know gold. I see the nuances. I always trade what I like. Um, oh, ask. It's okay. I trust that you guys won't interrupt this webinar by annotating on the screen. We're all adults here. All right. So let's move into looking at US 30. Now, let's all be honest. US 30 was a little choppy today. But even in the midst of choppiness, I always want to see where is price still respecting. I didn't take US 30 because I was focused on gold. However, we saw that soon as the 8:30 news dropped, it gave volume, pulled back in. This candle misleading. If I was in the trade here, I probably would have exited and I probably would have re-entered back here because I hate candles that do this. I honestly despise candles that do this. However, if by 9:45, let's say I even took a loss, like let's say you guys took a loss because the volume slowed down. You still have a responsibility of looking at what price has done afterwards. Questions like, is it still respecting the London lows? Are they just coming down to, reject London lows? Even if you took a buy and it once again sold off and you got out, that usually is an issue because now you're down to two losses. But if let's say you are the trader, that's why honestly, trading can suck in the sense of the timeline that you saw it is a whole parallel universe of somebody else's experience for the day. I know y'all feel me on this one. Somebody got in here, got smacked. Somebody got in here, broke even. Then somebody asked you, how was your trading? It's like, bro, I killed it. Man, I caught 200 points. You're like, how? Well, I got in at 10:45. Hey, you sick because that was your plan, but then the market wanted to be, choppy. Finally, it made sense. So that's why I always say, you know what, sometimes, man, during NFP, I give it up to like 10, 10:30, 11, just to see what's going on because it might be chop city here, but once it starts to kind of gather itself, man, might catch yourself a nice setup. So right now, obviously, price is pushing. Is it too late to get in? The usual question. Yes, it's too late to get in because now dealing with a stop loss, even though you felt like you could just run and jump in real quick, catch a little something. Nah, because the plan is what if it pulls back? Then you got to deal with all of this. Are you ready to deal with all of this? Are you ready to sit through that type of drawdown? Oh yeah, answer is no, right? Then yes, it's too late to get in. Like these are usually the things you have to start to like put it in your mind to stop asking certain questions even to yourself because you should know when it's too late to get in. You should now know when, all right, we'll just wait for retracement. It might even hurt to watch this thing keep running, but you know the second you get in, you're the person they was waiting for. All right, so we're not playing these games in 2026. All right. Especially when uh in the next week, we might get a retracement into Friday's lows on a Monday, and we'll know exactly what to do. We have a lot of bullish pressure and volume. They're printing money. There's about 40 billion getting printed every month. Um, I have noticed that we're back at 2021 price action. And when I keep saying that is you'll see consolidation when you wake up. You'll question it, but then by 9:30, it's either they'll just pull back a little bit, then they give you the 5-minute break and retest. You should know what to do with that information. So nowadays, we're back into the consolidation, break and retest era. How do you trade that? You have up until 10 a.m. to decide if you can catch this trade, because then you'll have the stop loss exactly where you need it to be, which is below London. You'll get at least 150 points, 120 points if you're just a scalper who's here for a good time and not a long time. Okay. Uh, I missed a lot of these setups this week, but I love watching my pray. I love watching my pray tell on itself. Every day you pull up, you do this. Okay. Okay. I'm observing. I'm stalking because once I have you figured out, I'll know exactly how to get in with no hesitation. All right. So putting the stop loss below London is too much money on futures. Hey, that's why I get stopped out so fast. I'm still trying to understand the futures world about the whole stop loss thing, but it shouldn't be the case. Because if we can't put the stop loss where it needs to be put, then we keep putting ourselves at risk and our heart, our posture on the charts is not settled, which causes us to not trade with a calm mind and we revert straight to flight mode, flight mode, flight mode. It's not conducive, you know? So I,
Hans.
yeah, you futures people, go ahead, talk to me because
Yeah, you know, I
that's like
gotta
my
jump
world.
in. I gotta jump in. I was
Uh-huh.
just thinking about this yesterday. Like, damn, if I was trading futures and I'm up this many points, I would have made so much more money. However, if I was down, I would have lost so much money also. So when it comes to futures, like just how the contracts is, you could just lose it so much more. So if you're trying to do the whole like stop loss thing or put your stop loss below this high or above this below this low or above this high, you really gotta just like swap out. And so I think it's minis, it's micros and minis. So it's the one that's like on the lower tier one. Whoever does futures, they know what I'm saying. They know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so you gotta switch to that, or if not, then yeah, you're gonna get cooked. But when it comes to forex, you kind of can hold it a little bit because I haven't done forex in a while. But since I've been doing forex again for like a week, I've been in drawdown like 400 something dollars, and I'm not that scared because I'm like, oh, this is nothing. Because if it was futures, I would have been down like $2,000. So
Mm, damn. Well, there you have it. There you have it. I know it's a couple more people who trade in futures. Talk to me. Unmute yourselves if you can. You know, Natisha's on there. Dina, Dina said exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is why I need to have room to make decisions. I don't
Can you
like
hear
not
me or
having.
no?
Oh yeah, now we can hear you. Man, take that bad headset off, man. We need to hear you. I can tell the volume already low.
My bad. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
No,
you
I
now.
can't hear you. What the heck?
Huh? It's on me. Dina, where'd you go?
The internet god don't want to let her speak her truth.
Damn. Rafi, go talk to the internet gods.
I
Internet god.
got you. I got you. Give me a minute, broski.
How you speaking on the behalf of your colleagues?
I'm a
Go talk to
defector.
them.
I'm a defector, brother.
Go
Sorry,
talk to
my
your
phone is a
folks.
little bootleg.
Thanks.
Man, that's that New
But
York internet. All
I
good.
did want to mention right quick because I know you constantly say to put the stop loss below the session, which has been a kind of complication with a futures trader like myself. Um,
Complication. What a Haitian.
so what I typically will do is like place a stop loss before like the last lowest wick, which will be in the zone but not necessarily below the zone. Like for instance, it might be like the 5 minute candle at 9:40 or something like that, or just wherever it makes sense, like the last wherever there was like a little range, I'll put it below that.
Ah, okay.
Is that bad?
Eh, What you mean if it's bad? I mean, as long as it makes sense. Look, because structure is fractal. That's Sebastian's favorite word. Structure is fractal, right? If I go down to the M5 and I get a beautiful retrace, and now I could actually put it here, and my stop loss below that candle, hey, we catching the bag. But I'm just saying, like, ideally, below London is usually like best bet. But there will be more. There will be setups where you have to just wait for the proper retracement just to be able to scalp and be out, you know?
Got you. Sorry, also still working, so a little in and out, but thank you.
You good, you good.
Um, can I speak?
Yeah.
Um, with futures, we have two type of contract. We have
Yes.
mini and we have micro. Literally, one mini equal 10 micro. Meaning, if you use one lot size on mini, it's 10 times, oh no, 10 times lot size on micro equal only one lot size. So if you're using one lot size on mini, you're gonna lose because if you wanna put, it's very expensive. If you wanna use the same lot size, it will not work. You will basically use all your drawdown money, your daily loss limit um, that the prop firm is giving to you. Like if you have $2,000 like a loss limit, you might use everything on mini and you will lose it. But when you go to micro with micro, using micro 10 lot, it's gonna give you a big stop loss because
Mm.
it's not expensive. The stop loss is gonna be really wide and it's gonna give you more room to trade. You won't make more money like mini, but you still gonna make money, some profit, and without pressure. But if you use one mini, for example, and you get 10 pip, it's gonna cost you like $500, for example. And if you get the same 10 pips with the micro, you're gonna get like $100 benefit. So you see the difference between mini and micro. Even though winning the same pips, you ended up with different profit. So that's why mini is very expensive. So if you use micro and you don't want to be greedy on micro, using 5 or 4, you're gonna be good. You can use this amount of stop slots you want. It's like yesterday, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna risk a lot. And I just risked with micro, only 2 lots. I risked like $23. And I ended up with $1,000, but I had to be patient. I had to get a lot of pips, like 600 pips, 500 pips to make a lot of money with micro. But if it was with mini, if I had taken the same trade with mini, I was gonna come out with maybe 20,000 or maybe $80,000 with profit with 600 pips.
Mm. While word was said, I did stick to FX, so thank you very much.
And also, right quick to piggyback what she was saying, um, yeah, you get a lot less with one mini, which is fine because obviously you can spread out your stop loss and be a little at ease. But
Mhm.
you may not get a 1-to-1, for instance. Like you might get less than a 1-to-1 because of the stop loss and then your take profit is, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't know,
I
depending
know
on
the
the
prop
setup.
firms love that.
But yeah, you could definitely do minis and you could be okay, but it's gonna be a slow progress
Oh,
with
damn.
one mini. I usually do 2 to 3 minis, or sorry, micros. Micros. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How was the week overall, guys, so far? Futures money is good until you went crazy drawdown. So you have to be very picky with your entries. I agree. I agree. With many, you have to be very precise, get the right entry. Yeah, I fear this is the problem. But, obviously this is teaching y'all to be even better at sniping. But otherwise, pepper in the eyes. Oh man, yeah. Well, you just get accustomed to your preferred entries and retracements. That's the best way to go about it. As I've already told you guys, after the 9:30 open, you get 10, 15, 10:30, 11. These are usually good times where it's like good retracements. And with gold, many times, like once it hits 11, for example, there are usual retracements going on. There are usual retracements going on. So, be careful how long you hold if you're scalping. Know your pair, know your asset class, know them. All right. All right. So I've been considering exploring Forex since you can modify your size more. Maybe once I go live. Yeah, yeah, definitely explore. And I got you with a broker if you need it. And you'll just start demo. We talked about this. We talked about this. Okay. Somebody said, let me see. Week was amazing. 1L. They'll share with the group. Beautiful, bro. Good job. Shout out to SB. Got himself a nice payout today. Happy Friday. Shout out to Jaquel and got several payouts today this week. You know what I'm saying? With a baby in hand. Love it. Love it. This a continuation. This a three of them. You got three P3 rings. Love it. It won't always be that way, but at least you're starting off January on the right note. Personally, for me, I'm trying to scale in, be as calm as possible. So you're not always going to see me having live sessions, but we will definitely talk, have post trading analysis, post session webinars just to make sure we're continuing the value that this community brings. All right. But you guys are not teenagers no more. Y'all adults in the trading space. I'm not here to babysit anybody anymore. If you need that like personal coaching, then you're gonna have to pay the fee. Because nowadays a brother likes to run errands and not be stuck in front of the computer all the time. So if you need my time, it better be worth my time. You feel me? So that's where we're at. Do you guys have any questions or can we look at other things together? I want to make sure I provide as much value as possible on this call. Now, somebody did ask me about Nas. No, I didn't trade Nas. I didn't trade Nas, but this retracement here is a hit or miss. Like it's either you was in these buys and you got clapped, or you caught that beautiful retest of Asia, which pretty much swept London. It's the same model, just different asset class. Yeah, see, 10 a.m. So that's another thing. Don't be sour about not catching the 8:30 setup when there's even a better setup by like 10, 11, like just keep that in mind when you start off a new NFP week. When the price action is back to where it's supposed to be, NFP is nothing for you to fear. Just trade at least 45 minutes to an hour after the 8:30 price action. It can be a little finicky. So if you're in a challenge and with futures, don't try and make the 8:30 your trade for NFP. I'm so glad I remember this. I don't want anybody on this call to keep romanticizing the mistakes that were made last year. What I mean by this is like if you know on Fridays you typically clap, the market claps you instead of you clapping the market, go with less risk. If you had a good week and you still feel like you want to trade Friday, trade a portion of the gains from the previous day. So that way, if you lose a portion of the gains for the previous day, don't be trying to make it back. Just know you made that attempt. It didn't work out. All right, market, I'll see you next week. Okay. Especially if you're trading around the windows of like 10:30, 11, you should have a much calmer setup to trade, less chances to get knocked out. We're keeping the tenure. We're keeping the maturity level where it's supposed to be as people who now are trading 3, 4, 5, 10 years in this game. All right. We're not going back to old habits. And if we mess up, which we will at some point, at least now we have better wisdom to know exactly what to do next time. Y'all should have a whole bunch of notes in your journal by now. You should know yourself better than anyone by now on the charts. You know, like I shouldn't expect this this confusion of who you are or who you're supposed to be on the charts. You know exactly what you need to work on them. All right. We're not romanticizing no constant issues that we usually run into. Be aware of them more than anything this year. Does that sound like a promise that we can all make to ourselves?
Yes.
That's for everybody. I need an affirmative answer. Uh-oh. You be having gray hairs too, Dina? Oh Lord. So while we at it, while we talking grown conversations, how many of y'all seen your first gray hair these past couple of years? Because this low key
Yo,
my first last sec. Ah, Ralph, about this money.
yo, I found one on my beard, my brother. Yo, I've been so sad lately. It's just crazy.
Boy, boy, that's crazy, man. That hair was disrespectful. I almost thought it was just the light. I'm like, hold on.
Same here, bro. I keep looking. I'm like, yeah, that's not true. That's not the right color,
No,
man.
that cannot be.
I put the like different angle, bro, but it was still great.
Oh
So
Lord, that's incredible.
it's about that time, man.
It's about that time, man. It's about that time. Okay, well, spotted it when I had my second baby. Oh, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Half your head is gray. Oh, Ooh. We're gonna leave this information on the call. You know what? Matter of fact, matter of
Moment of
fact,
silence for Dina. Moment of
yeah,
silence.
matter